Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel again. If you don't know who I am, my name is Inês, I'm a Portuguese illustrator, and today we're going to do an introduction on Procreate, which is the program that I use the most for drawing. So I was thinking on creating this mini-series on the beginner's guide for Procreate. And in this first video, what I'm going to be talking about is basically the interface of Procreate. So if you are a beginner and you want to introduce yourself to digital art, you can use this program. Procreate is great for beginner artists, and if you already know a little bit about Procreate, you can watch the video and give more feedback on the comments, something that I might not edit on this video. So yeah, let's begin. First of all, this is my iPad. I have an iPad Pro 11 inches. The Procreate app also works on iPads that are not Pro, I think. You need to pay just once, and for me, I think it was around 10 euros. So I don't know how much is in other countries, but for my experience, I think it's very, very, very worth it. If you want to do something bigger, I think you can also do in Procreate, but you have to be careful on the capacity of your iPad, because the lower the capacity the iPad has, the lower the layers you can have. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you at the end. So the first thing that you see when you open Procreate is the gallery. The gallery is a collection of all of your drawings. One thing that you can do when you have a few paintings is you can stack them and group them. For example, I have a folder for commissions, I have a folder for personal drawings, for food drawings. So this is great to kind of keep yourself organized. And the main thing that you can do from the gallery is create a new canvas. So to do that, you hit the plus icon here, and then you can go to create custom size, and then you can choose your custom canvas. For Instagram posts, I usually use the portrait mode, 2672 pixels per 3340 pixels, always with a DPI of 300. One thing to note though is that the size that you make, it will influence your maximum layers. The bigger the canvas size, the less layers that you can have. And the more powerful your iPad is, the more layers you can have for your canvas size. Then on the color profile, you have to choose between RGB, which is the color mode best suited for digital designs, and CMYK, which is the best for printing. Well, some people don't know a lot about the difference between RGB and CMYK, so I'm going to explain a little bit, and I'm going to leave a link below so you can explore a little bit more. Aside from the different designs they're used for, they also differ on their color, primarily colors, mixing mode, and also on the maximum color hue. So RGB is an additive process where light creates the color, while CMYK, it's exactly the opposite. And the main primarily colors of RGB are exactly what the RGB means, so it's red, blue, and GB green. So CMYK means cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Black is the K. So you might say whenever we're doing like the traditional art, we use more the CMYK because we use cyan, magenta, and the yellow colors to create, for example, the green, the purples, you know, the secondary colors. And if you mix all together, supposedly, normally it creates the black, which is never the black in traditional, means it's like a very dark, ugly brown color. But basically what you have to understand is that you use RGB only for online, for example, to post only on Instagram, to show in your computer, because even RGB has a range of color much bigger than the CMYK, and is also a little bit more pleasing to the eye to see. The colors are more bright, are more saturated, And yeah, while CMYK you only use when you want to print things. Everything that you want to print, start your project in CMYK, because if you start in RGB and then you're going to print, the colors are not going to be the same that you used on your project, and you're going to be very frustrated. So don't forget about that. And yeah, let's continue with the video. Okay, so we now click on the Create button, and here we have our canvas size and the interface that I'm going to explain further. This button right here with the range is like similar to the programs we use on a desktop computer. When we click on it, it opens a window that is the action menu, where you have several sub-menus. We're going to start with the first one, which is the add. In this one, you can insert a file, a photo, text, and you can also copy the whole canvas and paste it again, and this will make all of your layers collide in one layer. Very helpful for when you have already a bunch of layers and you cannot create anymore, so yeah. Then in the canvas menu, you can crop and resize. Basically, you can change your canvas size settings. But be careful when you do this, because if you are recording and wanting to use the time-lapse video, it will be a little bit weird once you export it. So be careful, try to use the canvas that you want in the beginning. Next, you have the animation assistant if you want to do a drawing animation. And I'm not going to go deep in that right now, but one of the things that I find important here is the drawing guide. You can edit and change it to a 2D grid, where you can create lines vertical and horizontal. You can resize the grid. You can choose isometric if you want to create also angular lines. Perspective, where you can create, for example, buildings and stuff with a perspective view. Very helpful for backgrounds. And finally, the symmetry, which can create very interesting drawings. You basically draw on one side and then it will automatically appear on the other side. This is really cool for people that want to do more abstract paintings, or even if you want to create a character with exceptional symmetry, but I never use it. And then here you can flip the canvas vertical and horizontal. This is great to see if you have any errors in your design. And finally, the canvas information. This is where you can find the information about your drawing, the dimensions of your canvas in pixels, and in my case in millimeters, the maximum layers and the layers you already used, the color profile you are using in this drawing, the video settings, and for me the most important thing is the statistics. The statistics are important because I can have a notion of the total strokes I made, and especially the track time for this drawing. For me this is very helpful for when I have to make a budget for commissions, because for a portrait commission I know it will take more time than a full body commission. And still in this menu, you can also add a reference. Sometimes you're doing a detail in your drawing, and this basically shows you the whole picture. And you can also import pictures, references, and you can color pick from this photo. And next we're going to the share menu. This one is for when you finish a drawing and you want to export it. You can do it in a Procreate file, in a Photoshop file, in PDF, JPEG, PNG and TIFF. And if you create an animation, you can also export in MP4 or in a GIF file. And on the video menu, you can see the time-lapse replay, so it will go ahead and show you the time-lapse of your drawing. You can change this from on to off, but it has absolutely no effect on the performance of your iPad, so I would just leave it on so that you can export the time-lapse and share it to your social media. And next we have the preferences of your interface. You can basically choose between light interface and dark interface. You can also change the interface, whether if you are right-handed or left-handed. And you have also the option to show the brush cursor or not. And then these definitions, I don't change much except the pressure and smoothing. Because in some drawings I like to change the stabilization of the brush I'm using. If you increase the stabilization of the brush, it will mimic the exact same movement of your hand. But if you add stabilization, basically it will smoother your brush strokes. I never use on the max. I usually use between 20 to 30, so that works for me. And in the next video, we'll cover the brushes part and how the layers work in Procreate. For this first video, I didn't want to extend much more, since it is a somewhat complex and more boring topic for someone who is just starting out on digital and on this program. I really hope you guys will enjoy the video. I'm going to talk a little bit more of the interface on the second part. I really hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! I really hope you found this video helpful. I'm trying out new things. I want to give you guys more valuable content. If you have any ideas, leave it down in the comments. And tell me if you like videos where I'm drawing and talking about art-related topics. I really do enjoy those kind of videos, and I think it could be fun to do them. Also, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me. And thank you for watching. See you next time.